Welcome to the John 3:16 Stories of Hope podcast, where we talk to people who have overcome addiction and alcoholism at John 3:16 Ministries. I'm your host, Lisa Fisher. Now let's hear another inspiring story from a resident or graduate of John 3:16 Ministries. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. We have Vincent Walrath here, 32 years old, from Kansas City, Missouri. How long have you been a resident at John 3:16 Ministries?
6 months.
6 months. So you're ready to graduate.
Yeah, actually, I graduate this Sunday.
Is that right? Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Well, tell me about your journey. Tell me what got you there, what kept you there, and, where you're going to launch to.
So my journey started up in Kansas City. I was letting things get in the way of my life with following Jesus. I was just the love of money and the pursuit of success, going through the end of a relationship. I was just at a low. I'd pushed everyone I loved away and ended up coming down here to actually visit my family, got in some trouble with the law and was at quite a bit of time, was sitting there in jail. And I had heard about John 3:16s maybe about 6 to 9 months prior. Actually had done an interview with them, or like the first intake interview, and just never had made it down. I was wanting to button up things with my company. Wasn't really listening to where the Lord was leading me. I put myself in a predicament to where it was like I was praying to come to John 3:16. Once I got everything adjusted with the courts and came out here, the Lord's been working in my life. I mean, nonstop. He's restored my family to me. I'm getting to see my kids more. He's just been blessing me. He's really like renewed my mind and changed my heart. And he showed me how to love people again and showed me to have me sit back and take this time to really reevaluate what was important in my life. And that was the relationships and with my loved ones and keeping that intact, not any kind of success or money or anything of this world. Since being here, I've gotten to see the Lord work in my life and these other guys, and it's been absolutely amazing. It's changed my life, and I don't even look at it the same anymore. What was important to me is no longer important, and getting to spread the word and spread Jesus to other people is what really is important.
Growing up, did you have a relationship with Jesus?
Yeah, I grew up in church. Grandfather was a pastor. Parents were youth leaders. They were always in the Assembly of God church up in Blue Springs. But yeah, I grew up, and it was like when I got into the adolescent age, into my teenage years, I was wanting to live life on my terms. I thought I knew best, and I knew where I needed to go. I grew up playing competitive baseball, traveling the country from, 7 on up through high school, ended up getting a college scholarship. I remember my parents were even at the point they're like, Vince, you need to go get help before you go pursue this. And I'm like, no, I can do it. And they gave me the option of going to a treatment then or trying my luck by myself out in college. I, of course, took the latter of the two and I remember I showed up to my first baseball practice with nothing but a suitcase and a sleeping bag, not knowing how I was going to make it, but I was going to make it. That worked for a little bit, but at the end of the day, ultimately, that took control, and that's what came important because that's how I was paying my bills, and eventually lost a scholarship, dropped out, and got into some trouble then. Ended up moving to South Florida for a few years around 2014 and 15. I was working and playing semi-pro baseball down there. And like I said, I brought myself down there and still was doing it my way and ended up getting in trouble down there too. Ended up getting extradited back to Missouri at the end of 2015 and went to prison for a little over 2 years. I got out in early 18, but when I was in prison, that was really where I started like a real personal relationship with God. I had time. I was always studying, always in the chapel, and I helped lead worship there a few times, and he was working in my life even there. When I got out, I just started doing the things of the world. It wasn't like I went out and was doing drugs and getting into the same amount of trouble that I had been doing, but it was just what can I obtain? What can I work for and obtain? They've been saying it here for the past week, but it was like that. My Bible that I had been reading on a daily basis became the paperweight on the TV stand. And as soon as that happened, it wasn't like a automatic fall, but it was a gradual road back down to getting myself again, even though it had taken about 7.5 years to get in trouble again. I walked right back into the same mess. And this time I remember a year and 2 weeks ago, I remember looking at my daughter, my oldest daughter, through a glass and thinking, I might not be able to give you a hug in the free world until you're 25 years old. And that absolutely crushed me. And I remember when I went in and everyone kept saying, man, you're going to have to go do time for this. You're going to have to do time for this. And I kept proclaiming, man, God's telling me I'm going to get to go to John 3:16. I didn't know how, and I didn't know when it would all happen. And I had to wait 7 months, and it gave me some time to really dive back into the word and see where I had fallen short. And through the grace of God, I was looking at 15 years and doing 100% of it. And I ended up getting 5 years probation with the completion of John 3:16.
So now they're working with the courts then.
Yes.
That's really precious that God would use a Christ-centered ministry and that the state would. The state would allow that as a way to pay for your penalty. Those 7 months, were you incarcerated at that time? Okay. And so the courts then worked with John 3:16 Ministries to allow you to, I guess, let you out. So you're here temporarily. You don't have to go back and serve time then when you leave.
No, I don't have to serve
That's
any
amazing.
of the time that I was looking at. I do have to continue and go report and do the rest of my probation,
Good.
but
We all need that. We all need
exactly.
an ankle bracelet to Jesus.
Right. And it's just, it gave me a second chance, or really a third chance, and his grace and his mercies, we all need it at times. And when we get shown it, when we really need it and we've cried out for it, and he's always there. He's the one who makes it all happen for us. And yeah, it was a miracle in my life. And I remember looking back at that, and it really hit me last week when it was like the week anniversary or the year anniversary of it. I'm like, man, to say God isn't real and he ain't working in people's lives is just crazy, because he's done this for me. He can do this for anybody.
Now, your criminal activity, was it drug related, drug or alcohol related?
So in the past it had been, this time it was not. I stole a car and got into a high speed chase. Um, yeah, since I had the past criminal crimes because I
Right.
went to prison in Missouri, they had me on a habitual offenders act with the enhancement. I was looking at 15 years.
But that's what's so interesting is that last scruff with the law wasn't involving drugs and alcohol, but they allowed you to come to a drug and alcohol, rehabilitation type recovery program is how the courts would look at it. We know
Right.
it's a Jesus program, right?
Right.
We do. But for the courts to justify it, that really was the mercy of God
Yes, it
to
was.
allow you
100%.
to pay your penalty that way. Were you battling drugs and alcohol then when you came to John 3:16 this time?
So I'd been sober prior, and then I had that 7 months too, but I was also sober before that as well for quite a while.
Because much of your time there, I know, tell me a typical day. What time do you all get up? What do you do all day? And then, I do wonder about the guys that are going through their detoxing. You didn't have to do that, but there are some guys who have to do that. But tell me a typical day.
Yeah, the typical day. So I start a little earlier, but we'll wake up. I wake up about 4:30. Some of the guys don't have to wake up till about 5:30. We have breakfast at 6, followed by a Bible study to about 7:30. Then we go out and we'll have a serve list. And there's all different kinds of different trades or skills that we have to go out and serve their community and just help further the camp. So we'll do that until noon. Then we'll take a lunch. After lunch, we'll do about a 30 minute to an hour Bible study, and then we'll go finish our day out wherever we're serving at, and then we'll finish that up at 4:30. We have dinner at 5, and then we'll usually do a house cleaning from 5 to 5:30, or from 5:30 to 6, and then we have another Bible study from 6 to one of the residents gives our nighttime Bible study. We kind of just go around house to house, and each house has a night, and we'll have one of the residents give a Bible study, and that ranges from 15 minutes to an hour sometimes. And then we finish up our night and have some fellowship at the houses. Sometimes we also do another Bible study within our own houses, and then we wake up and do it again the next day.
Have you ever heard the phrase, idle time is the devil's playground?
Yeah, I have.
You have no idle time.
Nope, and it's a blessing in disguise because I mean we are always busy, but we're building our bodies up when we're
Yeah,
working, and then we're building our spirit up when
sure.
we're getting our study in and our fellowship in, and that's really important because we're getting to build each other up, and we learn through talking with each other and what we've been through. Our testimony is what helps each other, and then when we can lean on each other, that's when we can really help further each other in our walks. And because there's some guys that come in and they've never believed or never opened a Bible. And then there's some people that have grown up in it and had pastors for dads, or we've even had a couple of pastors come through here. So it's always, we're all building up the body together and helping each other out. And that's where learn to lean on it, on the residents and on our instructors. That's where it really builds us up as a camp.
Well, I mean, by being incarcerated, once someone leaves and the inside to come to the outside, that's a scary time. Do you feel that same type of trepidation leaving John 3:16 shortly because you're at 6 months and Sunday is your launch date, or do you feel equipped?
I feel totally equipped and ready to take that next step in faith and continue what I've learned here out there and bring guys back or do whatever he's calling me to do out there. I know he's got some plans for me, and I'm ready to stay patient with it, but every day keep doing what I've learned here, and I know it's going to go well.
Physical fitness was a part of your life growing up, sports. You could definitely invest in a younger generation, Vincent, by, working with kids, having someone who's walked the path you've walked to warn them of the enemy and
Right.
temptation. Do you see yourself doing any of that, investing in a younger generation?
Oh yeah, I would love to. I'm a barber here. I do a
Good,
lot of the residents' haircuts,
good.
and then I do airbrushing. And he's been leading me to. I kind of want to start a ministry. So I had a guy when I was about 18 or 19. He had been through similar things out in California, and he was on a graffiti tag crew, and he was at my church, and we actually started a ministry up in Kansas City, and we went around to local churches, and we would do like their youth group walls, or we did rock walls in kids church areas, and we'd do like their youth group names and stuff like that, and we'd also teach them how to use graffiti as the art style that it is. And then yes, also of course with baseball, that's a passion of mine, and I would love to be able to reach the next generation down to help them not run into the same problems that I did growing up.
So when a man who's 32 comes to the program, did you have family that helped? Because you came from the court system, so it's a little different. Who is here that first Sunday for you when you said, yep, I'm in?
So due to it being with the courts, they've been doing this a little more often, but I actually didn't get to come in on a Sunday. I came in on a Wednesday straight. I got everything handled at court. My father actually came and picked me up from jail and took me directly out here. I still did an interview process when I got in here, but it just wasn't on the Sunday. But yes, my parents both are, thanks to the Lord. He's been restoring that relationship, and then they also helped me in a way that I couldn't help myself. So my oldest biological daughter, her mom passed away because of addiction, and she had an overdose and pulled out in front of a vehicle and was in a really bad
Oh my
car accident.
gosh.
And but they picked up where I fell when I fell short, and they're helping me with my oldest daughter too.
How old is she?
She's about to turn 11 at the end of this month.
Okay. Yeah, she needs her dad.
I know she does. I got to see her last weekend, and she's doing great. She got kind of a little iffy there when she first moved in with grandma and grandpa because she's trying to
Is that who the
get
state put her with, or? Well, no,
no
that would be
no
family, so she got to do that.
yeah
Okay.
I gave him partial guardianship,
Okay.
and
Was that hard to do?
very hard because there for a while I had to. So when she was first born, her mother kind of hid. We broke up right before she was born, and I wasn't on the birth certificate. And in my own stupidity, I went and took her one night, and I had to I had to face a kidnapping case. But luckily, since she's my kid and it was all proven, I
Right.
didn't have to deal with that. But so when
But you weren't on the birth certificate, so it was a criminal
yeah, no,
charge.
I went to jail for the 72-hour hold and
Okay.
pled my case, and it didn't get on my record, thank God. So once I got out of prison, I had to go through the court system. And at the time, I was was doing right again. I was doing all the things I needed to do. Right before, maybe 3 months before her mom passed away, I finally got through the whole court system and trial and had gotten, uh, primary custody of her.
Yes.
And that was a God timing too, because I tried to to guide them like, hey, you guys need to get help. You guys need to get help. Because I had finally found help and I was sober at the time. And her own family are like, are you going to take her to court? Like, it's getting bad. It's getting rough. And so we finally went through that process, and he worked the way out for me. And it was just shortly after that we lost her. Yeah.
What year was that?
That was 2019.
So that little girl's been through a lot.
That little girl's been through way too much. Way too much.
Will she come Sunday for your graduation?
She'll be here. One thing that, and I it's like the proudest dad moment I could have is throughout, even though I haven't been perfect, she could still see where I was doing right. So when she was 9, my parents asked her for what she wanted for Christmas. And she told my parents, and this is like the coolest thing ever, but she said, I want a good study Bible like my dad. Because I was in the Word. I was trying to do right at the time, but I just wasn't doing 100% correctly. And she got to see me get baptized up in Kansas City. Then this year, actually, while I was locked up for that 7 months, she ended up getting baptized this year. So that was another really proud moment. And so, like most children, they see the best in us. And I know she's still supporting me and loving me. I couldn't ask for a better daughter.
Vincent, you have a beautiful story. If someone's listening right now, what could you do to encourage them if they were where Vincent was in 2015, 16, 17, 18, all those years that you were on the struggle bus? What could you do to encourage that person to make the call?
Man, pray about it and really give it to God. Ask God to help get it. Because I remember I was like, God, I can't do this anymore. I'll do whatever it is. But just make that call and he'll lead the way. He'll work everything that needs to be worked out. Like if you can put your trust, even if it's just a little bit, and put your trust in him, he will make a way when you feel like there is no way.
What's your daughter's name?
It's Molly.
So people be praying for Molly. Pray for Vincent as he embarks on a new journey. I pray you come back and get to talk to the men at John 3:16 when you get a chance.
Yeah, I'll definitely be coming back.
Because
I love this place. It's changed my life.
I can see that. A changed life is the greatest visual and emotional pull on your heart. It's a way to show people that you are a new creature. That's what the Bible says.
Yep. And we get to live it and be that example for others. Because if he can do it for me, he can do it for anybody. And I encourage you, if you need something like this, or even if you feel like you don't, you might need it. And just to give it all to God, and he will work it out for you because he loves us.
Great job today, Vincent. Thanks for doing this.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us for the John 3:16 Stories of Hope podcast, highlighting the community at John 3:16 Ministries in Charlotte, Arkansas. Be sure to share the episode. If you need more information, hop on their website, john316thecure.com, or find them on social media.